Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how we can implement crouching and sprinting with motion matching in this game animation sample project. In the previous tutorial, we learned how you can implement custom characters in motion matching in the same template. You can go ahead and check my previous video for the same, where we implemented this Wukong character from the Paragon, and as you can see it is running with motion matching, and also there is real-time retargeting with these custom characters. Alright, so we'll start with implementing crouching first. So for that, we'll go ahead and we'll go to the blueprints, and we will select character blueprint sandbox character, which is the main parent blueprint. So over here you will find this crouch input comment over here, and you will see we have this input action crouch already implemented in the project with these functionalities, right? So you will find that it is being disconnected. You just go ahead and connect these execution pins. You'll find we have is crouched variable, and if you just go above, we'll find we have another input action which is sprint, and we have this variable wants to sprint. We'll use this when we will implement sprinting, but first let's stick to crouching. So go ahead and connect this up, and when you press C button, and this will get triggered. So if it is not crouched, then it will set to crouch, otherwise it will uncrouch. Just save this and we'll close. What we will do for crouching, of course we need animations. You just go to characters, you go to UE5 mannequin where all the animation data is saved. Go to animations, you will find this folder crouch work in progress. You will have all the crouch animations over here that we need. So for the crouch animation, we need, of course, for the motion matching, we will need a chooser table. Inside the chooser table we will need databases, right? And we will just stick to the default schemas. Okay, we go to motion matching data. We will go to dense databases. Over here we just add new nested chooser. If you want to learn more about motion matching, I have explained in a 1-hour tutorial video a guide for motion matching. You can quickly go back in my playlist or in my channel and you will find that tutorial as well. Okay, over here we will add a new nested chooser. Just like we have stand idles, stand walks, stand runs, we will need crouch idles and crouch walk, because we do not have crouch run. It's not necessary. So go ahead and type crouch idles, and we need another one, nested chooser, new nested chooser, crouch walks. Alright, quickly go ahead and save. We will need to add databases inside this, and we will set these conditions afterwards. Just like the stand walks or idles, we will also need the databases, of course. So we'll go ahead and create our own database, or we can just duplicate these databases over here. So for the crouching, we will of course need crouch idles. You can go ahead and check the crouch animations that we have. You'll find that we have idle animation of crouch, we have the loop crouch animations, we have pivot animations, we have start and stop. So we'll need to create all the databases for the same. So I'll go ahead and create a new folder, crouch, where we will save our own all the databases. So firstly, dense stand idles, we'll just duplicate this. You hit Ctrl D to duplicate, and we just rename crouch idles. And what else we need? There is crouch loops. We'll duplicate, and we'll just rename crouch loops. Then we have pivots, just rename it. And last but not the least, the starts, we also have stop. That's why so we have the starts and the stops. Let's duplicate it. So once this is done, save all. I will select all 5 of these and just drag and drop inside this Crouch folder, move it. Alright, now we actually need to set all these animations inside each and every databases. I'll just dock my layout, and here we'll just search Crouch animations over here. Quickly I'll open up idles. Okay, I'll select all. I'll just delete, and over here I will quickly dock Crouch idles. I will search Crouch idle. We'll select these animations and I will just drag and drop here and save it. We close and we'll open up Crouch loops, select all of these, delete it, and we'll add Crouch loop. Hit Ctrl A, select all, drag and drop. We don't need idle loop here, just hit delete, save this. If your animations are not looped, select your animations, right click, go to asset actions, alright, and go to edit selection in property matrix. Select that, select all the animations where, so in this property matrix you can edit all the settings of all these animations at once. So just loops, either you can take it true if you need, or you can just uncheck it. Likewise, you can enable root motion from here of all these animation at once if needed. So okay, once that is done, close the loops. So loops has been done. Pivots will quickly add Crouch pivot. I'll select all, delete these first, select all. I will unselect the database, I'll drag and drop. So pivot has been done. Starts, select all, delete, Crouch starts, will select all, drag and drop, save this. And lastly, we have the stops animations. Delete this, Crouch stop, select all, and the same thing. Alright, now that we have all the animations set up and our databases has been set up, now what you need to do is inside this chooser table we need to add the databases inside our chooser table. Alright, so I will go ahead and open up my database. So I'll go back. Here we have Crouch idles and Crouch walks. I'll click on edit, and here we will add so this is for Crouch idles. So for the idles, of course, we need the starts, pivots, and loops over here. And for the idles, okay, so quickly add a row of asset. Here you will add idles. So Crouch idles true, and add another row of an asset. You will add stops. So when you will come and select Crouch idle, when you are in idle or when you have just coming back from stops animation, right? Once this is done, we'll go back, go to Crouch walks, right? Open up Crouch walk, add rows over here, nested chooser, not the nested chooser, asset actually. So we need, in the walk, we need loops. We add another asset. We have pivots. We add another one. Starts. So when you start walking, we will choose this animation. When we are doing pivoting, we'll choose this animation, and when you are looping, you choose this animation. Right, now we go back. We actually need to set the conditions as well. So let us set the conditions now. Go back to the chooser table. So first let us set these conditions. Alright, so when do you want crouch idles database to get selected? When of course you are on ground, when your stance is not stand, when you are crouching, when you press C key, and the movement state, when you're idle, of course you need to go to crouch idle. So when you are on ground, when you are crouching, when you are idle, and it doesn't matter if you are walking, running or sprinting. So we'll just quickly click on any. For crouch walks, of course when you are on ground, when you are crouching, and when you are moving, and this will be any. Okay, so now why any for walk, run and sprint? Because crouch walk is same for either you're walking, running or sprinting. There's only crouch walk, that's why. Okay, now that this is done, we need to go ahead and add conditions between these two as well. So go to crouch idles now. We'll quickly add column over here. So we how will we decide whether you are in idle or when you are stopping, right? So we need that threshold. So it will be decided by a float variable from our character over here, and that variable is speed. So this is the lower limit, this is the upper limit of it. So the crouch idles, when will you be in idle? There from 0 to, we can say 10, and when you want to stop, then from 999. It's just a larger limit of the speed. All right, this has been set. So you can be in idle when you are at 0 to 10 speed. You will be in stops when your speed is being decreased from 999 to 10, right? So we'll go back, go to crouch walks now, and we will add conditions over here. So over here we have conditions bool, and over here sandbox character. We have loops, we have pivots and starts. So inside this bool we have pivoting, and we have another bool which is starting, this one. Yep. So for the loops it will be any, right? Whether you are pivoting, whether you are starting, it will perform loops. So when you want to pivot, this will get selected, and not it can be any in this. Whether you are starting, you can pivot in that time as well, right? And for the starts, so this will be any, you can pivot here, and starting will be set to true. All right, now this is been set. I will save it, close it, or we can just double check everything is right in the place, and we'll select the default character first. Let us see whether we can crouch. We press C, it is crouching to idle. We press W, it is crouching and walking, and you will see it will pivot as well and working perfectly. I press C again, now it will start walking or running. When you're running, it will crouch again, and let us retarget it to my Wukong character. I'll press this again, so it is crouching in my custom character as well. I'll crouch, uncrouch, and everything is working fine. So Shinvi character, will also crouch, and it is working perfectly. If you want to check how is this working, you can check my motion matching in-depth video. I'll give you a gist how you will see how the motion matching is working. You go to tools, go to debug, and click on rewind debugger. Alright, I will press play. I need to actually record Shinbi character, right? And here I will press play again. I will press C, it will crouch, and I'll uncrouch again. I'll crouch again. Now let us just pause this. Okay, now I will rewind, and let us see our Shinbi character. So, and we can actually go to the rewind debugger, and rewind debugger you need to go to post search, and we will extend this. We'll quickly understand how is this motion matching working here. Okay, so right over here you will see currently my Shinbi character was running over here. I'll just quickly extend the asset. You will see that my current asset, which is running, my active pose and my continuing pose. So my active pose is the current animation, my continuing pose will be the next animation, which is the same, which is running. But just when I press C key, when I hit crouch, you see what happens is in this position you see it is running, and in this position when I press C key, it directly switched to the database loops, and from the loop which any of these candidates will be selected. So which one of these will be selected, it will be depending upon the cost, right? So I press the right arrow, so this animation got selected. So according to the weights and the cost being calculated according to the weights and the channels, so according to that the animation is selected, right? So of course when I crouch back, when I uncrouch, you will see it again when it is running. So it is crouch loop again, and now I unpress C again for uncrouching. You see it will find database from run loops. So which one will it be? So this one. If you go ahead inside this, you'll find that this animation will be getting played, right? So that is how the motion matching is working. I just explained you in I just scratched the surface over here. If you want to learn more about how all of this is working, you can check my motion matching 1 hour tutorial. And also if you want to learn how to implement this custom character, you can watch that tutorial as well. Alright, so now we have implemented motion matching with crouching. We'll also learn how you can implement sprinting for the same. So now we can go ahead and start implementing sprinting in motion matching. We already learned how you can implement crouching. Now let's start how you can implement sprinting. So for the sprinting, when we hold the shift key, the left shift button, we want the character to run in a much faster speed, and we want the animation to be changed. So unfortunately we do not have sprinting animation, but what we will do is we will duplicate the run animation and we'll just increase a rate of it a little bit. Okay, so you can go and check if we have sprint animation. Unfortunately we do not have, is just this jump animation over here. So for the sprinting, of course we will need the database for the same, for sprinting. So for that I will open up any of the database over here, right? And we will actually need stand runs for this. I'll go ahead and edit. So inside the stand runs we will use stand run loops. Okay, I'll search it. I'll quickly create a new folder. I'll create a new folder called Sprint and run loops. So this one, what we will do is we will duplicate this, hit Ctrl D, and I'll just write sprint. Alright, sprint loops. I'll drag and drop in here. I'll move it here. So we need animations now for the loops, right? So we have these running animations over here, but what we need to do is we need to change the rate of animation, the speed of animation. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a way to change it through here. I was finding it. So what we will need to do is, if you see in the selection details, there is no option to change the rate of the animation. So what we need to do is we will be duplicating these and creating sprint animations, right? So if we go to motion matching data, go to animations, actually go to run, and here I will search loops. I will select all these run loops. I will copy this, go to animation. Here I will create a new folder, call it sprint, and I'll paste it. I will save all of these. I will delete these from here. We are in the sprint loops database, right? I will select all of these, and what we will do is we will edit it in a property matrix. Go to asset actions, we go to edit selection in property matrix. So these are the run loops. I will not change the name of it, right? I'll just check rate. So the rate scale is set to 1.0. We can set to 1.2 and save it. Now we will drag and drop these animations. So that's why I kept these animation in the sprint folder, right? So now we have these animations here. You'll not see it running faster over here, but if you just double press and open the animation, it is much faster over here. Alright, now that we have all the loop sprint animations here, I'll close this up, and here I will go back and I will create a new chooser, a new nested chooser, and I'll create stand sprints, just like we have stand idle, stand walk, stand runs, stand sprint. I will drag and drop and put it in here. Alright, so now when you're on ground, true; when you're standing, true; when you're moving, and when you are sprinting, we have it here. So when this is there, we go to stand sprints, and over here we will add our database. We'll go to asset, and here I will write sprint loops, right? And over here we will need bool, which will be is moving and is pivoting. Is pivoting. We'll click on any, or when you are looping, when you're moving, we'll set to true. I'll save this. We can add more actually if needed. It's starting as well, we can choose. Okay, I will save this. Let's go back. So it won't work just like that. You see that nothing is happening when I press the left shift key. because we need to set the variable actually. Alright, so once this is done, I will open up our character blueprint. So in the blueprints, we have the sandbox character blueprint. Over here, we actually need to set this variable wants to sprint. I'll quickly find this. I'll right click and find reference by name. So here are all the variables being set, and it's get and it's set. Over here you will find inside get desired gate over here when the character wants to sprint, when it is set to true, right? If it is false, that means the character might be walking over here. When the character wants to sprint, and if the movement input is set to true, the full movement input, right, then over here we want to sprint. You just need to change this over here. And if it is false, that means there is not a full movement input, it will automatically set it to run. Alright, just save it and we'll quickly check our animation data over here. So our gate over here is set to sprint, right? So I will actually dock it somewhere if possible, or just place it right over here. We'll put to our character. Click to manually testing. I don't think the manual testing is working. I'll just debug this, as I don't know why my character is not showing up here. We just quickly select sandbox character, right? So currently it is if I press sprint now, you will see that the sprint is now green and my character is sprinting. If I leave the left shift key, my character is walking now, right? Now it is moving and it is running now. If I press control key, now my character is walking. I hope you can see this properly. I just set this just like this. Unfortunately I cannot zoom out. Okay, let's set it somewhat like this. Alright, now you'll be able to see over here. So when I'm in idle, you'll see right at the top everything is green. That means it is inside the idle. When I'm walking, you'll see that when all these conditions are true, then it is walking, right? When I press control again, it is running now. And when I hold the left shift key, it is sprinting. You see that the character is now sprinting. Actually it is choosing from stand sprints over here. If I go and click, and from here you will see that the character is sprinting now. When it is pivoting and when it is starting, it's automatically getting true over here. And you can also go inside this and you can check which animation is being played with the help of review debugger, the rewind debugger or the review debugger. Alright, so that is how the sprinting is working. Of course the crouch is working as well. Crouch sprinting. I'll just close this, and of course it is working in all the characters just like this. Now it is sprinting. So that is how you can implement crouching and sprinting with the help of the motion matching data inside this game animation sample, and it is working with the real-time retargetation. As you can see, it will sprint, and when I leave it, it is not sprinting. So yeah, and actually if you are getting this error that no databases asset provided. So it is actually because inside here, inside the stand sprints, we do not actually need is starting. I just quickly delete this and save it, and now you will no longer get that error. Now for example, if you need a different sprint speed, because right now the sprint speed is actually less, it is same as the run speed, it is little bit more, but if you want to increase the sprint speed, or also if you want to increase the walk speed, just like how I increased the jump height, so actually you can go inside the character sandbox. Over here you will find inside the movement we have the walk speeds, the run speeds, and the sprint speed. We have 3 different speed, and if you find reference of this, you will find where it is being set and where it is being get over here, right? And if you want to set the individual speed for your character, instead of changing the variables over here, what you can do is you can go to your character, right? And over here, when the input is being called, so on the input action sprint, when the input action is being triggered, over here what you can actually do is you will just, as this blueprint is being inherited from the sandbox character, right? That is the parent class and we are the child class. We will have those variables exposed for us. So we'll just find sprint speed. So here we'll set sprint speeds. We can set this to like 1200. By default it is set to 700, so accordingly you can set, and when it is completed you can set it back to 700, right? And also for run, if you want to change the run speed, so I don't remember if there is the input action event, so there's walk, strafe, sprint, move, so we can use move over here, and here you can do the same, set run speeds over here. By default it is set to, I guess, 700, 500. I will set it to 700 over here, and when it is completed I can set it back to 500. It's not necessary to set it back to 500, but I'm just keeping it like this. We also have input action walk, and over here we can set walk speed, set walk speeds. So all these are in XYZ direction. If you want it to walk slower in one direction, you can do the same, right? I think this was set to, you can go ahead and check it over here. So the walk speed has been set to 200, 175 and 150. Run speed is 500, 350, 300. So just like that you can change it. If you want this to be like 650 and this to be 600, you can do the same, right? And the walk speed, I can set it to like 300, or let's just keep it to 200, 150 and 100, and on completed I can set it back to its original walk speed, 200, 175, 150. So 175 and 150. Let us just increase this. I set to 250 and 180 and 180. Let's set this to 200. So yeah, you can just put random values and play with it, but I'm just showcasing how you can change these. I'll press play. I'll make sure Shinbi is connected. Over here in my debug, Alright, so when I'm running, you see this variable being called, this event being triggered. When I'm moving, when I'm walking, right, and when I'm sprinting, you'll see now my character is moving much faster speed. You can increase it more, like however you want. I can set it to 2000 over here, and of course it will sprint much faster, just like that. And you can add your jump animations, so now it is sprinting much faster. But I think Wukong will sprint in its normal speed, because we haven't changed anything inside the Wukong character blueprint. We have only made it specific to Shinbi character blueprint. You can change it in any other character you want to. So that is how you can add sprinting. Of course, crouch speeds also, you can control the crouch speed, right? You can control the air control, you can control how much higher jump you want the character to achieve. So that is how you can actually play with those values and really customize your character. So that was the tutorial how you can implement crouching and sprinting. In the future video, we will learn how you can implement the attack animations of these characters, and we will learn about layering those animations, right? And also I am trying to implement a first-person camera for this, so we will learn how you can implement a first-person camera for our motion matching characters over here. So thank you for joining with me here. I hope you like the tutorial. Please like and subscribe to my new channel, and let me know what more tutorials you would like to see, and would love your valuable feedback. Thank you.